the city attorney may want to chime in, but again, residents are calculated at 10,500 gallons whether they use it or not on sewer, whereas in commercial, it's exactly what goes through the meter. So that's the difference. That's why it's done that way. It's just, we've never done a commercial account before, I will say that.
If I can, Marvin's talked to the policy considerations with regard to whether or not to do this. From a legal perspective, I would just say that my recommendation would be if it's not an adopted policy, that you not take the action. So if it's something you want to pursue, that you do that in that order, that you would adopt the policy prior to taking the action. And then we could talk. I recommend, right, if we're going to get into more details, that maybe there's something we talk during executive session if you're curious about all the justifications and all the things behind that. But just simply say that'd be my recommendation, is that you not take an action until you've at least adopted the policy if you're so inclined.
Not crossover policies, just...
Correct.
That's what we would be doing, is taking something that doesn't apply and making it apply.
That's correct. At this time, that's right. You could always take action to amend the ordinance to adopt a policy. That would apply.
But we'd have to do that first before we fix it.
That's my recommendation. Okay. I don't suppose you'd have to, but
Yeah.
I think that'd be the best course.
You will table it then? That's strange, we don't have a policy.
Does it seem like to me that if we could direct staff to look at this and see if there's a way that we could make this work? Now, on a commercial, do they have the ability for a pay plan as well, like a resident does?
Yeah, they do.
There's just no leak adjustment at all?
No.
What was the leak?
Had a broken pipe, is all I know of.
But it was after our meter.
Yeah, it was going through the meter.
It was in his building, like some of what the residents have, that
Yeah.
they have a leak in the yard or house or
How often
something.
does this happen with commercial properties?
We haven't had very many. We've had a few, but we've all told them that we don't have a policy for commercial.
So I'm assuming that, I don't know why we would even table it. I mean, a policy is a policy. Unless y'all are that interested in pursuing it to make it a policy that we do cover this stuff. But,
I would just ask that we ask staff if we could look, see if we could come up with something that would be applicable for both parties in the future, but if we can't do it tonight, but if they look at it and see, maybe talk with Fort Worth and say, hey, look, this is what we've got.
so I think if we're gonna do that, then, we owe it to ourselves to do what he said, go behind, maybe not tonight, but go behind closed session and inquire about why these policies are the way they are in the first place for commercial business.
Well, commercial is because it's under contract with Fort Worth. That's the biggest issue right there.
And even the water's coming from Fort Worth.
Well, but,
I
right.
mean, it's not like in the past we could absorb,
Yeah, we absorb the water, we probably can't absorb the sewer. That's the reason it's that way. If we didn't have a contract that was based on the amount of cubic feet that went through a meter, then we probably could. But it'd be no different residential, but we can't do that with the way it stands, because what we do is we take every meter reading we get, we turn it into Fort Worth, and that's how they bill our sewer for commercial.
Well, I'm just trying to know if Fort Worth has a leak adjustment for residential and commercial, and if whatever that is, maybe we can hear that.
Residential.
Well, what you do is, and with Fort Worth, by contract, you pay the bill first. Then you submit the request for an adjustment. You may or may not get it, you know. I mean, that's a chance you take, but if you want to adjust water only, that's one thing, but if you're adjusting the whole bill, which is set up to do in residential, we really don't have any control over the sewer part.
But who would request to Fort Worth for an adjustment?
I do.
Oh, you do?
I do when I fill out my report.
So either way, we need a policy for you to do that.
Yeah.
Well, for the water, we definitely do, yeah.
I think we would table it for a policy, so.
I'll work on a policy and come back to y'all. But that's why it was left
Is
out.
there anything you want to say? I mean, you've heard what,
Yeah.
you know the situation now, that,
What's it?
you know the situation, since we don't have it all building up.
Yeah, that's really new. Yeah, the question is this, sometime, I've been here almost 13, 14 years, and I barely use water. That's the reason my water bill is always low. Last year, I was in the shop, the water pipe broke, I immediately cut it off. This year, and I repaired it. This year, I came from home, and day before it was cold, I couldn't make it to the shop. And I came to the shop, I saw the water was all over the place. So I went, immediately cut off the water, then went for repair. I even didn't hook up the water for 1 week.
Well, as you've heard, we don't have a policy on that. We're gonna look and see if we can come up with one, but as of tonight, I don't see that we can do anything for you on this.
And if and when we do, he can come back and
Yeah.
present it again?
I'll try to have it for the next meeting.
We'll try to find something else and have it by the meeting, Martin says.
I don't need a 3-page.
You saying you don't like reading stuff?
No, I want bullet points.
So council, do you just want to not take action tonight
Yes.
and move on, or do you
Yeah.
want to table this to come back?
Do we want to table? Yeah, well, I think we table it.
I say we table it and move on.
Okay, that's just fine.
Do we need a motion on that?
That would be,
Okay, I'd ask for a motion then to table it.
I'll make a motion to table this till the next council, yeah, we got to say till the next council meeting, so, date certain.
not necessarily, with a public hearing or something that's necessary here, you can
Okay.
table it until it's ready to come
Until it's
back.
ready.
That's fine.
But next meeting.
I'll second it then.
Okay.
We have a motion to table this request until staff has time to look at it and come back. So all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries.
Did you understand what we're doing? Since all of this falls under Fort Worth, we have to revise, or we have to look at the policy,
Yeah.
and then Marvin would have to ask for Fort Worth to do what they need to do.
Yes.
And then, once, hopefully we'll have it by next meeting, and then we'll let you know if we're going to be able to help you with that, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, sir.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Do you need me for anything?
No.
Thank you.
We're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
But you're free to stay if you want. We'll get you out here by midnight.
Have a good night.
All right, we're gonna move on to item number 10. Discussion and or action on request from, is it Javier?
It's Javier Diaz.
My tongue doesn't roll like that.
Javier Diaz.
At 5309 Cahill Oval, disputing water bill due to water leak. This is a residential, I take it, so.
It's a residential, but, he can probably explain more to you, but I believe it's only his second bill. The house had caught on fire, and, they remodeled it, if I'm not mistaken.
That's correct.
And just started service back, and right after they did, the line broke, and, his first bill was like $70, I think it was, and then this next bill was $400 and something. But by our residential leak adjustment policy, we're supposed to take 12 months of previous billing records, which we don't have.
Right.
And that's the reason that we normally would just say we can't do it, but he wanted an alternative, and that was to come to the council.
There's your mind, if it's not in the policy, can we do anything on this one?
I think my
If it's not,
recommendation will be the same, that you act in accordance with the policy that you've adopted, and not
But we
outside.
can't, we
We
don't
really
have 12
can't,
months.
because he's only had one bill, so we really can't go back 12 months. So the first bill he had was 78 something.
77?
Yeah, and so now it's over 400, so something definitely went wrong there. So, I mean, you can't go back 12 months. So
We do have that 6-month payment arrangement, if he's interested in that, where he can pay it out over 6.
I think the problem is
But
that...
still have to pay it.
Yeah.